let's start with what Kyle Shanahan said yesterday on the radio as sort of a backdrop to what happened today. Because Kyle Shanahan, I mean, he went on Sirius XM radio and he was very comfortable. He had his guard down. And I don't know exactly what the question was, but he's like, look, this team that we have right now is very similar to the teams that we had in 2017 and 2018. Those were losing seasons when they missed the playoffs. He's like, the only difference is we have, some future Hall of Famers on the team, but the rest of the team is a lot like that one. He says, it's going to be a much different team in week 12 than it is in week 1. And that hopefully they find a way to get into the playoffs and then they see what happens from there. And you know what? That's a very honest assessment of the team because he's right. Now, easiest schedule in the league. I don't know that his fans or his employers will be so understanding if the Niners were to go 6-11 or 4-13 this year. I don't think so. But he is correct that this current version of the 49ers is not it's not nearly as good as the version that came down here 2 years ago and faced the Raiders in the joint practice in Henderson 2023. That team was going to the Super Bowl. This team is probably not. And I think Kyle knows it. Kyle isn't one of these guys who's overly positive and trying to speak things into existence. That could be Saleh. That could be Harbaugh. That could be Carroll. It's not Kyle. Kyle is more negative than me. You think I'm negative about the 49ers? If you only knew what Kyle thought of his own team privately, you would think that I'm a homer compared to him. So we have to understand that Kyle Shanahan is getting out in front of this right now because a lot of people that cover this team, or maybe one person that covers this team, who I won't name, who is going on and on about how great this team is. And I don't think that necessarily helps Kyle Shanahan because if they lose a bunch of games this year early on, then Kyle looks like he's underperforming. I think what's happening here is if let's say they lose week 1 or they're like 1-3 out of the gate or something, Kyle can come back and be like, look, I was right. I called it. And his fans love that when he calls stuff. I predicted it. I knew it. I could see it. I could see it on August 14th, 13th. And if they're good, then he is the coach of the year and he exceeded expectations and all those rookies and all that stuff. But I don't know. I mean, part of me doesn't feel sympathy for Kyle Shanahan. I mean, they were so bad at drafting in the first 3 rounds. Solomon Thomas, Javon Kinlaw, Mike McGlinchey, all these mistakes over and over and over again, that the Niners kept having to pay their way out of those problems. Kinlaw didn't work out. We'll sign Hargrave. Ambry Thomas didn't work out. Sign Charvarius Ward. Ty Davis Price didn't work out. Trey Sermon didn't work out. Trade for Christian McCaffrey. Oh, Mike McGlinchey can't play left tackle. He's a right tackle only. Well, I guess we'll trade for Trent Williams. The Niners owners did that. So now they're saying enough. Last year, you took it too far. You said we had to sign Leonard Floyd. You said we had to sign Devondre Campbell. You said we had to sign all these bums, and we did. And now look at us. So now you're going to show that you're a great coach and coach up this team, and Kyle thinks that he's got like years to get this done. He's comparing it to 2017. That is not a correct comparison. This team has Brock Purdy. That team did not have Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is the 7th highest paid quarterback in the league. Brock Purdy is way better than Jimmy Garoppolo ever was. He didn't talk about that. You got one of the best quarterbacks in the league, right? And you're one of the best coaches in the league, right? So what's the problem? You got some young guys? Well, McVay can make it work. We've seen that. So I'm going to talk a little later about the difference between Kyle and McVay. Because there is a big difference. Do you have any thoughts on Drew Moss dating Brock Lesnar's twin daughter? Dog. Do you say Brock Lesnar's twin daughter? I don't think it works that way. I don't think you can have a twin daughter. You can have a daughter, but I don't think it works that way. But yeah, Drew Moss, that was always a good sign for Drew Moss right there. So look, then Kyle Shanahan's been watching this team practice for 3 weeks. And plus the whole offseason. And he's not super impressed with the 4. He's realistic about it. It's going to take him some time. Week 12, they might come into their own. Maybe. Or maybe next year.